the second part is the complexity of modern economics, that how the modern economics, the complexity of modern economics is that uh, we see that how the economies work, and sometimes we feel very strange that how the economy is arranged by itself and self-organizing and how they are saying. So Adam Smith one times mentioned it in his book of Nation of Wealth, somewhere in 1800, uh, like there's some invisible hand that is organizing the economy, and the economy is working. But we see that when individual consumers and producers act independently, so every one of us are working independently to pursue our own self interest, the collective outcome is coordinated. That's the collective outcome is coordinated. So it's not like like we see, for example, I give you an example of this to understand this self organizing, how the market self organize itself, and we are working for our self interest. For example, if you are hungry and it's a night time, and after work you don't want to cook by yourself, what you do, you order. For example, you ordered a pizza. Now you ordered a pizza. When you are ordering a pizza, or it never comes to your mind that you are ordering a pizza to help someone who is delivering the pizza to get money. No. Your objective of ordering a pizza is that you are hungry and you want to eat, right? The person who is delivering the pizza to your doorstep is delivering the pizza for his or her own self interest, money, to get money. He is not doing this service that he is worried about you, that you are hungry and you must be provided some pizzas, right? So both you, when you ordered a pizza, or the delivery person who is delivering the pizza, both are working for their self-interest. But ultimately what is happening is there is a coordination, and you get the pizza, you are happy, and the person who is delivering the pizza is getting a money and he is happy. So this way it works the economy. Like, the butcher is providing the meat not for the benevolence of the society. He is providing the meat for making profit out of it. The farmer is providing the wheat not for the benefit of the society. He is doing this job to make money out of it. But you see, ultimately, what is happening, that we are getting the food, and the farmer is producing the food. So this is the way that the economies are organizing by themselves. Each one is working independently for their own self interest, but ultimately, what is happening is the mutual benefit, or coordinated. Efficiency, on the other hand, in the market economy, resources are organized so as to produce the various goods and services that people want to purchase, and to produce them with the least possible amount of resources. So efficiency is required in the economy, like that whatever we are producing with the least cost, and whatever we are producing should be consumed, not wastage. So that's the way that efficiency works. With the relative to the efficiency, there is a concept of equity. So equity and efficiency. Equity means that everyone should get equal, or treated equally. But sometimes there is a need of an equity, but sometimes there is a need of a efficiency, and the government has to create a fine balance between equity and efficiency. For example, when you go to the parking lot, you see there are some parking lots reserved for handicapped people. So that obligation by law to make that is through increase equity. But it is against the efficiency, because most of the time they are vacant, but we cannot park there, because if you are not having this problem, then you are not supposed to park there. So by this way, there is a wastage of resources. But equity is required in the society where the efficiency is also required. So efficiency is important, but equity is also important. Uh, so that's what I said. Adam Smith, in 1723 and 1790, The Wealth of Nations, Smith was the first to develop this insight. It is not from the benevolence of the butcher, the braver, or the baker that we expect our dinner, but from the regard to their own interest. We address ourselves not to their humanity, but to their self love, and never talk to them of our own necessity, but of their advantages. Adam Smith is saying that the same massive number of economic interactions that characterize a modern economy are not all are motivated by the benevolence, they are motivated by the self interest. So intensives and self interest, individuals generally pursue their own self interest. Everyone is doing this for their own self interest. Individuals respond to the incentives, like people work only for incentives. If there is no incentive, normally people don't do that. But there is a question, like if some people do voluntarily, but when they are doing voluntarily, again still there is an incentive. The incentive is that they feel happy after that. After doing some voluntary work, they feel happy. People do charity. After charity, what is the incentive? That they feel happy. Sellers usually want to sell more when prices are high, and buyers usually want to buy more when the prices are low. Incentives and self-interest are not the only source of motivation. Other values also play important role. Sometimes the value is also important, but major motivator is the self-interest and incentives. Now, the decision makers and their choices. So, in our economy, we see that there are three different decision makers: consumers, what to buy and how much; producers, what to produce and for whom; and government, how to channel resources to productive use. So, these are the decision makers in our society, or you can say that three main actors in an economy that operates. One is the consumer, the other one is the producer, and the third one is the government. And how they interact with each other, we see here there are two markets. One is a market for goods. Market for goods means that from where we buy our food, clothes, all our things that we buy from the market, from goods and services. Factor market is a market where we sell our resources: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Who are the buyers? Individuals and firms. So firms buy factors of production and produce goods and services, and individuals buy goods and services and sell factors of production. So we see here the factors of production through factor markets goes to producer. Producer provide goods and services, and these goods are going to individuals. Payments are reversed. When we are buying something from goods, we have to make payment, and this payment for goods and services goes to firms, and firms make payment for factors of production to the individuals. Uh, Production and trade. Production process display two characteristics: specialization of labor and division of labor. So nowadays we see that there are a lot of trade among the countries, and even among the people. Like we do trade. How we do trade? We work somewhere, we get money, and use that money to buy other things. That's a trade. So nowadays, this is an era of a specialization. Individual specialize in one particular area, they do that job, and then they get money and use the money to. Primitively, in the history, when the people are not doing trade with each other, so everyone has to produce their own everything what they have to consume. Like they have to uh, make their own food, they have to grow their own food, they have to make their own clothes, and all these things by themselves. And in that case, the life quality is very primitive. Now we see with the advancement, everyone is specializing, and now the countries and the firms are specializing in particular area, and they become expert in it, and then they sell their expertise and get money to buy other things. Division of labor is a breaking of a production process into a series of specialized tasks. Even they break up the one particular job into small jobs, and each one is going to repeatedly doing one thing, and by this way they become more efficient, and they become more expert in it, and by this way the productivity increase or the cost is reduced. So this is the way that trade and production goes. Money makes possible trade or a specialization. Otherwise, it is not possible that we can do trade or specialization. So specialization must be accompanied by a trade, and money eliminates the cumbersome system of barter. Barter means where you exchange goods with goods. services with services, or a services with goods, or goods with services, but money is not involved. The transaction involved the exchange of products. Money greatly facilitate trade, which facilitates specialization. We see globalization in our era, but now there's an anti-globalization wave is starting. Like Donald Trump, President Donald Trump imposed a tariff, shaping, reshaping the world, and reshaping is a sort of a deglobalization, or impose restrictions on the globalization. Globalization is a movement of labor, movement of capital, and uh, the entrepreneurship, or in the, so these resources initially, land is not normally movable, it's a immovable thing, but the things what we produce from land is going to be go from anywhere. So trade of goods and services, that's trade of labor like immigration and migration, and the third thing is capital. So capital is moving from one place to another place. Now, this is what we call it as a globalization: movement of goods and services, movement of labor, and movement of capital. Now, nowadays, with the imposition of a tariff and anti-immigration sentiments among the people, so that is going to put a restriction on this two things: goods and services and labor. So capital is also going to be restricted. So by this way, we are moving towards the anti-globalization era. So globalization is used loosely to mean the increased importance of international trade. Two major causes of globalization are rapid reduction in transportation cost. Definitely, that's a very important factor. Mostly, the international trade is going to get pick up after the invention of a steam engine, the revolution in information technology, and then this whole trade system is going to be revolutionized after the internet discovery or information technology. So globalization comes with a challenge: human right, environmental, production, and standards. So these are the some challenges that we see, and we are using this whole idea. So this is what we want to discuss in our second top part of this topic. So please stay tuned for the third part.